Have you ever woken up and looked at your life only to realize that those things that once lit a fire inside you now barely spark a flicker? Maybe you reach for a favorite book, but every page feels weighty and dull. Maybe your friend's messages seem to come from someone you barely recognize. The goals you once chased now feel like echoes from a distant, unreachable shore, and you start to wonder, am I losing interest in life itself? What if this shocking sign isn't a lapse or a flaw, but actually a key signal that you're being transformed for something brand new? Let's talk about what it really means when you're losing interest and the powerful reason why it's happening. If you want more honest explorations like this, make sure you hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you never miss an episode on the Growth Mindset Project. This is your space for real talk and inner growth, so stick with us as we dive even deeper. So, what's really happening when you find yourself disconnected from everything you used to love? Maybe last month you wanted nothing more than to binge read your favorite author, but now those same pages feel like lead. You used to wake up excited to work toward your goals, but now even the smallest to-do feels pointless. You scroll through messages from close friends, and instead of feeling understood, you feel alien, like the world has moved on without you. It's easy to think something is broken, that you're slipping into depression, or somehow losing yourself. But what if the loss of interest isn't evidence that something's gone wrong? Picture it like this. Before a snake sheds its skin, it grows restless. It doesn't eat. It can barely see. And from the outside, it looks sick or maybe dying. In reality, something amazing is happening. The snake can't fit into its old skin any longer, so it naturally withdraws and prepares to emerge as something larger, with new potential. You too could be in the exact same transitional space, losing interest in old passions, relationships, and even parts of your identity isn't just random. It's an intelligent, sometimes uncomfortable sign that you're outgrowing a former version of yourself. All the hobbies and dreams that once felt magnetic, they aren't bad, and you're not broken for letting them go. They simply belong to a you that you're leaving behind. Most people freak out when they hit this stage. They force themselves to keep up appearances, to reanimate hobbies, restore connections, and chase old goals. But have you ever tried squeezing into clothes from your childhood? They don't fit anymore, and honestly, they're not supposed to. Pushing yourself back into what you've outgrown is just as uncomfortable. The act of losing interest is a sacred, natural process. It's your mind and spirit creating space, just like you have to empty a glass before you can fill it with something new. Let's pause for a moment. Have you experienced this kind of letting go? Drop a like if this resonates, and share your perspective in the comments. We build this channel together, and your voice will help someone else feel less alone. The world shouts about consistency, and losing interest is seen as flakiness or failure. But let's flip the script. Maybe your lack of enthusiasm is not laziness, but a message that your energy is needed elsewhere. Maybe the exhaustion that accompanies this phase isn't from doing too little, but from trying to keep a life going that your heart has already moved on from. It's like running new software on outdated hardware. No wonder everything feels off. Even the most grounded and successful people have gone through these life resets. They lost interest in everything, felt out of place, maybe even questioned their own sanity. But instead of panicking, they sat with the emptiness long enough for something new to emerge. That emptiness is what allows genuine passions, unexpected callings, and better aligned people to enter your life. Pay attention to the subtle, quiet nudges. You might feel an inexplicable pull to learn something strange, visit new places, or spend your time differently. These moments aren't random. They're gentle breadcrumbs, leading you through the forest of transformation. It's crucial here to learn the difference between depression, the heavy, hopeless, stuck kind of losing interest, and the kind that signals change and possibility. When you're depressed, it feels like nothing will ever change, like you're caught in quicksand. But when your life is transforming, Even in the emptiness, there's movement, sometimes barely perceptible, a sense that something new waits just beyond the horizon. If you notice yourself seeing only what's missing, the vanished excitement, the distance from others, try to look again. With every loss of interest, something deeper is arriving. You start noticing the energy of the spaces and people around you, get better at protecting your boundaries, and become less tolerant of things that no longer align with you. It's like your radio dial is tuning in to much clearer, more resonant frequencies. People or activities that now bore or even annoy you aren't bad. They're just not meant for your current stage of growth. When familiar dreams fall flat, it might be time to ask if they ever really belonged to you, or if they were remnants from a former self. Trust that your lack of interest is not dysfunction, but powerful internal guidance. Have you tried explaining what's happening to people who care? They might urge you to just get out more, try harder, or even see a professional. And sure, sometimes you need extra support, but that alone misunderstands the heart of the process. You can't jog or sleep your way out of transformation. It's not a problem to be cured. It's a natural phase to honor, like a hermit crab outgrowing its shell, but not yet finding the new one. Everything seems unfamiliar because you're literally living with an expanded sense of who you are, but inside structures, routines, and relationships that were built for your former self. You haven't lost the old you. You've simply outgrown them. Think of how your taste in music, food, or friends has changed over the years. This, right now, is your entire worldview and approach to life reshaping itself. Change can feel gradual, but losing interest often arrives all at once, like a hard reset button. If you're floating untethered without anchors of old enthusiasm, remember, it's not aimless. It's the necessary pause before the next part of your symphony. The silence here is filled with potential. Have you noticed you're more drawn to solitude, nature, or new types of creativity? That's your intuition guiding you toward the environments where your next evolution can take root. The inner voice you're learning to follow doesn't demand or shout, it whispers. It's an invitation, softer but more persistent than your inner critic. You might also realize that the motivational tools you've used in the past just don't work anymore. Pep talks, vision boards, tightly set goals, they feel empty now. That's because you're shifting from an externally motivated life to one built on inspiration, which comes from true alignment. Just a quick reminder, if this journey speaks to you, like, subscribe, and leave a comment below. It helps more people find this message and deepens our community here. The loneliness you might be feeling isn't just about being alone. It's about holding an experience most people around you don't understand. They may wish for you to return to normal, but that version of you no longer exists. Asking a butterfly to return to its cocoon would make as much sense. It's essential in this moment to find, or wait for, the right community. Not one that pushes you to get back to what was, but one that can hold your uncertainty, honor your growth, and recognize what letting go really means. Sometimes these people don't appear until you've released what no longer fits. There's no set timetable for this transformation. Some people pass through in weeks, others in months, sometimes even years. You don't have to force it, you just support it. When you honor the phase instead of fighting it, you create the right conditions for your most authentic self to emerge. So as you move through losing interest, treat it as sacred. Don't ask, "What's wrong with me?" Try asking, "What's wanting to emerge?" The emptiness is preparing the foundation for fullness. The silence invites you to listen to your soul's truest voice. If this video resonated, there's so much more for you here on the Growth Mindset Project. Tap into our other episodes and hit the bell so you never miss an insight. The journey continues, and the truest version of yourself is just beginning to step forward.